So let's start by settling into our body, becoming aware of where we are right now in our body. Taking a breath in through a count of 4 to the nose. Hold it. And through the mouth, release to a count of 4. And again, another breath in through the nose to a count of 4. Hold. And release. And just seeing whether you're standing, you're lying down, you're sitting. What is supporting you right now? So if you're sitting and you're on a sofa, it's the sofa. If you're standing, it's the floor. If you're lying down, whatever you're lying down on. And just view internally where your body ends and what supports you begins. Anything outside of our body is our environment. Anything outside of our body, we have full control over. So taking another breath in to a count of 4. Holding. And releasing through the mouth. Coming into that part of the body that is touching whatever is supporting you. So we're all going through challenging times right now. There's a lot of discussion on various forums about how there's a reset going on and the universe is changing and there's great turmoil and the world's coming to an end. All these things. There is a great reset going on. There's a universal reset going on. And like what is supporting us right now, the super intelligence, if you like, is doing so without our permission. Think about it. We're sitting here right now, or lying or standing, and the super intelligence of gravity is calculating with precision how to keep you in this position without floating away or compressing into the earth. Every millisecond, it does a calculation. So whether it's a feather or an elephant, this super intelligence, with precision, calculates exactly the measurements that gravity needs to have to keep us in a perfect position. Take a breath in. Hold, and as you hold, visualize where your body ends and what is supporting you begins. Release. So the universe is going through an enormous shift right now. It happens pretty well every 200 and something thousand years, and we're in it. It's not going to start. It is part of it. It's not COVID. COVID is simply a symptom. And it's not in great turmoil. It's this super intelligence that is doing it with precision, effortlessly, with grace. Nature has shifted and will continue to shift. You can see it. If you go into raw nature, you can see the clarity, you can feel the clarity of the frequencies of nature. Animals are the same. Pets get distorted by us, but wild animals are the same. Birds, insects. You can observe these, and you can tune into them, and you can feel their frequencies. So this great reset is not a turbulent time, because it's not about us humans. But us humans, because we have free will, it's an incredibly turbulent time. Focus on your breath. Focus on what's supporting you. Coming into your body right now, here, nowhere else. What happens when we have these shifts, and in the past, usually humans haven't made it. They've been wiped out. That's why we're on version human 8.0. 7 times before, there have been civilizations, incredibly sophisticated, and they've been wiped out. So what's happening this time? This time, we have the opportunity of shifting with the universal time, with the planetary time, with nature's time, in harmony, to move to a next version of what humans are. Some of us have done it. Most have not. Most are fighting. And why are we fighting? Because this reset is all about truth and transparency. And when truth is released, it's vicious. And what I mean by that about truth is that we are no longer able to use these false sense of securities to define who we are. It doesn't work anymore. It's like the iPhone. Your operating system gets updated, and if the apps also do not get updated, well, they become more efficient until eventually they just won't work. And this is what's happening with us humans. All of these false senses of security and who we are, these programs, mostly that we brought in from past lifetimes, are no longer working because they're not the truth. So whether it's our addictions, our relationships, our sexualities, our low self-worth, our non-deserving programs, our perspective of money and what security that brings us, our separateness with our timeless self, and so on. These will not work anymore. And humans, we don't like change. We're not good with change. So we keep clinging on to it with this belief system that this is who we are. This is what defines us, and this is what gives us completion. It's kind of like the woman who's married to an abusive husband. And she always knows when he comes home from work, he's going to crack open some beers, and he's going to probably hit her or abuse her in some way. But she stays because the thought of leaving and the unknown is far more threatening than being in a situation, although it's not one, of nurturing and support, but it's of abuse. But she is familiar with it. And familiarity, we humans find very comforting, regardless of if it serves us or not. So with these programs that we have and that we've had so imprinted in us, they're not working anymore. And we hang on to them. And this is where the fear comes in, the anxiety comes in, the depression comes in, the separateness comes in. Take a breath in. Hold. And release. So I'm bringing you right now, I'm helping you gain some awareness of the mechanics of how this works. As I said, there's a universal reset going on right now. It has nothing to do with us humans. It's going on with or without our permission. So this meditation is to help you keep grounded and release these programs that are holding us back. Because they will be released one way or the other. Everyone is awakening right now. Everyone is shifting right now, whether they're conscious of it or not. We're in the death space. And when we're feeling this void, this incompletion, this confusion, this searching, this continuous searching to fix ourselves, to always be projecting, to always be picking up something in this density to complete us. This is not working. So we come into our body. We stay present. And we view these death space instead of begrudgingly, but with excitement and grace. There cannot be a birth without a death. Look at nature. It does it so effortlessly. Winter is the death space. There's decay, the leaves, the branches, they fall, they decay. It goes into the soil as nutrients for the birth of the spring. We follow these cycles. You can't go wrong. They've been around millions of years. And it's like us in this process. We are in a death space. So when you cling on to something, pause, observe. Try not to get hung up on the emotions. The emotions are not the truth. The emotions are simply the programs manifesting itself in this density. It's not about fixing the emotions. It's about fixing the programs. And this is what we're doing. This is an amazing opportunity right now for us to shift, to bulldoze through these blocks that have kept us in bondage this lifetime and many past lifetimes. The work we're doing right now, yes, we'll benefit in this lifetime, But the big bonus is when we come back as an evolutionary process without these programs that have kept us enslaved and away from the brilliance that we are. Take a breath in. Hold. And release. We have at our access to tune into any frequency and copy it and bring it into this reality and dimension in this density. And some people may think, oh, that's science fiction. We do it all the time. We do it all day long. But usually they're lower frequencies. Look at television, movies. The vast majority, I'm talking in the high 90%, comes from a very low frequency. It's called TV programs. It's a program. And we sit there for hours absorbing it, those frequencies. The media, news, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those. We're like sponges absorbing those frequencies. And we wonder why we don't feel good. So why not use a different reference point now? Why not spend some of that time in a higher frequency? Nature. I work with nature. It's the purest frequency in this density that we have access to, in my experience. So tune into nature. Spend time in nature. Turn the mind off. The problems, the objectives, the conflicts, the insecurities, all the projections. What are you doing later today? What are you doing next week? Are you going to retire okay? Will you die alone? All those things that go through our head all the time that keeps us out of the present moment. Nature is perfectly present. That's why we feel good when we go in nature. It's not because of the landscape and the fresh air and all that. That's a bonus. But nature is so perfectly present and it is so well defined. It knows exactly what it is and it knows exactly what it is not, that it pulls you into the present moment. And the present moment is the only truth. The present moment is where your higher self resides. When we align with that, wow, what's on offer? To shift and to be free. So spend time in nature. If you don't have nature near you, then spend time with an inner vision of nature. You can still tune into those frequencies. You have permission. We've just been so programmed and inundated with this information that we have unconsciously chosen to tune into lower frequencies all day long. It's not going to work anymore, as we're seeing. So release these programs. Ask your higher self, what programs do I need to release to merge my time-bound self, physical self here in this density, with my timeless self, which is the self, the higher self, outside of this time capsule that we're in and this density that we're in. Again, we have permission. There are only two laws that we have signed up to with our higher self when we come into this density. One, that we will be in this time capsule. There will be a beginning and middle and end to everything we do. We're outside of time. Everything happens all at once. And two, that we will be in this density, this limited self. The rest, there are no restrictions. Your higher self has your back, always. So when we're feeling off, instead of diving more into that, because of our insecurities, pause. You have the power. You are empowered. That has been given to us. Pause. Come into your body. Spatial reference. If you don't know what spatial referencing is, I have other meditations on that. Be present in the moment and converse. Converse with your higher self. How I talk to my higher self, my timeless self, and now that there's been emerging, it's not with these great prayers, a vow, and praying like a slave, hoping with maybe a little bit of empathy and sympathy, I'll be thrown a morsel. I just chat. My higher self has created me. So I just chat and ask, hey, what's going on? I'm feeling off. Show me what is it in me that has taken me off my center, and let's release it. It's really that simple. The universe is so complex. Do you not think that it would have to create a very simple formula for this density to function with such synchronicity? Look at our body, going back to the superintelligence of gravity. Our body is this superintelligence. We're breathing right now. Our heart is beating. Our hair is growing. Our cells are rejuvenating. We're not doing it. We're not thinking every second how to do this. It's happening. There's some intelligence that's doing that with us, not for us, with us, because there is no separation. We're in it together with our timeless self. It's not a favor. Take a breath in, and as you breathe in, really breathe in, and just be in awe of how amazing our bodies are, how they're functioning so efficiently. And in areas that they're not functioning so efficiently, ask, what's going on? Hold it. And breathe out. Start to come in alignment. This is what's happening on all levels. And there's no escape clause. It's gonna happen. It is happening. So let's take a good journey. We're on the plane. We're on the plane. It's going, whether you like it or not. So choose. Do you want to be in the very back, being thrown some dried up old sandwich? Or do you want to be in first class, horizontal, watching on a big screen TV. It's up to you. Both tickets are available. And nobody can choose the ticket but you. That is what is called free will. And we're all given free will. We humans are incredibly sophisticated beings. We can create. We can time travel, as in going into the future with projecting, or going into the past. Nature and animals, they don't do that. But we haven't learned, first of all, how to be here, present, singular, without going into different realities, different dimensions, different time zones. So although we're much more sophisticated than and a higher frequency than nature and animals, we don't know how to navigate. This is what's happened to Einstein, Tesla, all the great inventors. They go to another dimension, a higher dimension. I don't even like to use the word higher or lower because it's not about that. It's a clearer dimension with your timeless self. And they have had access to all these inventions. And then they brought it down. Unfortunately, they didn't know how to navigate. And that's why they got so messed up and they went insane. So let's learn how to navigate. Let's get the foundation strong. And then you can start to travel and go to these other places and get all the information you need and come back centered. It's a super exciting time right now. And I know when you're in it, and you're really in it, it doesn't feel like that. But it passes. Just like when you have a really bad cold or flu, and you're in the middle of it, and you think like, man, this thing's never gonna go away. This is my whole life. And then it goes, and you completely forget you had it. It's the same thing with these processes. And it's a process. If it all happened at once, you couldn't handle the changes, believe me. So it's done with perfect harmony and grace. These shifts. And a lot of us are in the death space. So we just pause. We observe with no judgment. Let it pass, and then there's an opening. There's a new birth, an expansion. The new self comes in. And then guess what? We do it all over again. And then we do it all over again. But we keep moving the benchmark closer and closer to our timeless self, where there are less filters. So we keep upgrading. And the healing, that's an old paradigm. We're not in this now to heal because there's nothing to heal. We just need to know how to navigate into our optimal reality, our optimal dimension, where these lower frequency challenges don't exist. You know, Einstein, he got that from higher frequencies. His quote, he said, "It's impossible to solve a problem from the same consciousness where it was created." So we need to move to a higher frequency where all these lower frequencies, these problems, they can't exist. Again, going back to the iPhone and the apps. We upgrade. And spherically, everything shifts. We don't have time to tackle our health, to tackle our relationships, to tackle our money, to tackle all of the low insecurity problems that we have within, the non-deserving, the fears, the phobias. We don't have time for that. You can't tackle each one. So what we do is we just raise our frequency, and spherically, everything shifts. View the death space as this great opportunity. We've never had the propulsion we have now to shift. The only limitations are ourselves, of the programs we've been taught before, misaligned with before, about how limited we are. Let's push the human envelope, because that's what's on offer. And you don't have to take my word for it. Look around. There's great brilliance in many, many individuals going on. Listen to this meditation as much as you wish. I'm bringing in right now the frequencies of nature. I'm helping you come into the present moment. And my job is to be out of a job. So you're empowered to do this at any time, instantly. We don't have to vibe ourselves up for 2 hours to get into that zone. Oh, that's not efficient. Everything about the universe is about efficiency. That's why 7 versions before us have become extinct, because it's more efficient to do a reset at that consciousness back then. But now it's more efficient for us to carry on and to shift in this 3D than to wipe us out and start the whole process over again. Some won't make it. Some people's programs are so strong and so ingrained, and they've come into this reality at a certain level that they refuse, from lack of awareness, to shift. But it's on offer for everyone. And if you're listening to this meditation, you've already been brought here. You're on that plane. So take advantage of it. Have an amazing day.